The video is regarding Battle of Karbala. It is divided in two parts. In the first part the historical background of incident is narrated, and in second part the short details of Hazrat Imam Hussain Raziallah Anhu journeys towards Makkah and then to Kufa, battle at Karbala and aftermath are narrated. The video is only for informational purpose based on a general perspective about the incident taken from the statements of different historians. None of these are intended to hurt the emotions of Muslims of any sect. For a detailed account of the incident there are a lot of information present in various books, written by different scholars of all sects. If any Muslim brother of any sect want to share his knowledge about the incident, the comment section is open for everyone. While commenting, please show patience and follow the community guidelines of YouTube. Battle of Karbala. The Battle of Karbala is a significant event of Islamic history for Muslims, especially for Shia sect. The event took place on October 10, 680, 10 Muharram 61 Hijri, near the city of Karbala in present-day Iraq. The battle was fought between Hazrat Imam Hussain Raziallah Anhu, along with small group of supporters and relatives, and a huge army of Yazid the Cursed, unjustified Caliph of Umayyad. Following is the historical background of this battle. We will start from era of Hazrat Usman Raziallah Anhu, which remained from 644 to 656. He was a companion of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and third Rashidun Caliph of Islam. He is one of the 10 companions foretold by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to be among the dwellers of paradise. In his government, most of the officials were from his clan, so many newly converted Muslims felt jealousy of them. Amir Muawiyah Raziallah Anhu was the governor of Syria. In 656, a person named Abdullah ibn Saba, a Yemenite from the Arab Himyar tribe who converted to Islam during era of Hazrat Usman Raziallah Anhu, but by heart he was against the Islamic Empire. He has been declared as the big enemy of Islamic Empire in history. By paying large sums he gathered many followers around him. His followers were called as Saba'iya. Along with his followers he traveled in Muslim cities and towns, from Damascus to Kufa to Egypt, propagating among Muslims that Hazrat Ali Raziallah Anhu is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam successor. They provoked Muslims to a revolt against Caliph. Basically they wanted to divide Muslims so they should fight each other. Government opponents of Kufa, Basra and Egypt were also affected by them, and they sent complaints against the officials to Caliph in the capital Medina. Though majority of complaints were false, but as the number increased, Caliph made an announcement that all such complainers could come to Medina and tell their problems directly to Caliph. Groups numbering around 1,000 men from Kufa, Basra and Egypt reached Medina and put their complaints to Caliph. Saba'iya agents also joined the Egyptian group invisibly. Caliph Hazrat Usman Raziallah Anhu found the majority of complaints baseless. Caliph replied all groups that all legal complaints would be addressed and now they may go back. All groups returned, but next day the Egyptians came back to Medina. Hazrat Ali Raziallah Anhu asked them the reason. They replied that while returning to Egypt on the way they captured a suspect with a letter, which was from Caliph office to governor of Egypt with an order to kill all of the Egyptian group. The strange thing about the letter was that the seal of the Caliph's office was also present. Because of Saba'iya agents it is evident that it was a conspiracy against Caliph. Till that time their plans were not visible. Hazrat Usman Raziallah Anhu properly told them that he hadn't written the letter, nor had he ordered anyone to do so. Some people gave the opinion that maybe Caliph office advisor Marwan may have done it. The Egyptians demanded Marwan to be handed over to them. Because of no proper evidence Caliph didn't agree. The Egyptians blamed the pious Caliph for the matter. Next day, groups of Basra and Kufa also returned to Medina. These all blamed the Caliph for nepotism and started a rebellion and demanded the resignation of Hazrat Usman Raziallah Anhu from seat of the Caliph. Their leader was al-Ghafiqi, an Egyptian. Other main figures included Kinan ibn Bishr al-Tajabi, Sudan ibn Hamran, Abdullah ibn Budail ibn Warqa al-Khwarizmi, Hukaym ibn Jabla of Basra, and Malik ibn al-Harith, who was known as al-Ashta. As Hazrat Usman Raziallahu Anhu was on true side, so he did not agree and tried to solve the matter with dialogue, but rebels were not ready to listen to anything except resign of Caliph. 700 people of Medina came to help Caliph, but he didn't want a civil war. So he sent them back by saying, I do not want to spill the blood of Muslims, to save my own neck. If civil war could be stopped at the cost of his life, Hazrat Usman Raziallahu Anhu was happy to pay that price. He believed that by laying down his life he could delay the advent of the cursed sword foretold by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he would neither use a sword to hit back, nor flee from the city of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then, rebels besieged Caliph house and blocked all the ways. Saba'iya agents were also active here. Few companions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, including Hazrat Ali Raziallahu Anhu, both his sons, Hazrat Imam Hassan Raziallahu Anhu and Hazrat Imam Hussein Raziallahu Anhu, Hazrat Abdullah bin Zubair Raziallahu Anhu came forward to help Caliph. After furious skirmishes, they succeeded in reaching the house of Caliph and guarded the house. When rebels saw their plan going to fail, they attacked Caliph house. The mentioned brave people repulsed all their frontal attacks. But some rebels broke into house from neighbor's side and murdered the Caliph. As the assassin's sword struck, Caliph Hazrat Usman Raziallahu Anhu was reciting the following verse of Holy Quran. So if they believe in the same as you believe in, then they have been rightly guided, but if they turn away, they are only in dissension, and Allah will be sufficient for you against them. And He is the hearing, the knowing, Quran. For a great cause and a great conviction, He made the greatest sacrifice a man can possibly make. Thus, He joined the ranks of the great martyrs of all time. On his martyrdom, all Muslims were shocked and couldn't believe that rebels will go to such level of brutality. Saba'iya group made chaos by starting an agitation for revenge of the Caliph. In these circumstances Hazrat Ali Raziallahu Anhu was elected as 4th Rashidun Caliph of Islam by Muslims at Medina, year 656. Pretending to be his helpers, the Saba'iya group remained near him for making troubles. When he tried to solve the assassination case of Hazrat Usman Raziallahu Anhu, then Saba'iya group furiously agitated to stop the process. Then Hazrat Talha Raziallahu Anhu, Hazrat Zubair Raziallahu Anhu and Hazrat Aisha Raziallahu Anha, widow of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, mobilized an army and demanded the Caliph for revenge of Hazrat Usman Raziallahu Anhu. Hazrat Ali Raziallahu Anhu tried for a settlement by dialogue, but Saba'iya agents provoked people of his side and attacked the opponents. The Battle of Camel ensued and Hazrat Ali Raziallahu Anhu came out victorious. Amir Muawiyah Raziallahu Anhu also demanded the revenge of Hazrat Usman Raziallahu Anhu assassination. He was just removed by new Caliph from the governorship of Syria. He came forward and had inconclusive battle of Siffin against Hazrat Ali Raziallahu Anhu in 657. The battle ended in a failed arbitration process due to Saba'iya group opposition, which alienated some of Hazrat Ali Raziallahu Anhu supporters. These formed the Kharijites, who later terrorized the public and were crushed by Hazrat Ali Raziallahu Anhu in the Battle of Narawan in 658. To counter these rebellions, Hazrat Ali Raziallahu Anhu had to shift capital of Caliphate from Medina to Kufa. In 661, 3 Kharijites planned to kill Hazrat Ali Raziallahu Anhu, Amir Muawiyah Raziallahu Anhu and Amr bin al-As Raziallahu Anhu. They believed that Muslims are disunited only because of them, and by killing them Muslims would be reunited. The Kharijite, Ibn Muljam, murdered Hazrat Ali Raziallahu Anhu in Kufa. The other 2 companions Rizwan Ullah Ajma'in remained safe from the attack of Kharijites. In the light of many hadiths, sayings of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Hazrat Ali Raziallahu Anhu was on true side in all conflicts. He was a pious, brave, wise and spiritual companion. He got the caliphate in a hard time. Opponents and his own people did not give him any time to manage the situation. Despite of all odds, he kept a true Islamic state in its real shape. After him, the religious and moral decline of Muslim empire began. Although still there were companions Rizwan Ullah Ajma'in, but Islamic identity was not remained in its true spirit. The caliphate ended and changed into monarchy. In 661 his eldest son Imam Hassan Raziallahu Anhu was acknowledged as caliph in Kufa. His sovereignty was not recognized by Emir Muawiyah Raziallahu Anhu and sent an army against him from Syria, while pressing him for abdication in letters. In response, Imam Hassan Raziallahu Anhu sent a vanguard under Ubaydullah ibn al-Abbas to block Emir Muawiyah Raziallahu Anhu advance until he arrived with the main army. Meanwhile, Imam Hassan Raziallahu Anhu was severely wounded in an abortive assassination attempt by the Kharijites. This attack demoralized his army and led to widespread desertion. Ubaydullah ibn al-Abbas and most of his troops were also defected after being bribed by opponent officials. Upon learning this, in August 661, Imam Hassan Raziallahu Anhu signed a peace treaty with Emir Muawiyah Raziallahu Anhu on the conditions that the latter should rule in compliance with the Quran and the Sunnah. A council should appoint his successor, and Imam Hassan Raziallahu Anhu's supporters would receive amnesty. He also remembered Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's sayings that Rashidun Caliphate will remain for 30 years, and at that time exact 30 years of Rashidun Caliphate were completed, so he decided to leave the Caliphate seat. Some of his supporters criticized his decision while others suggested that he was motivated by the desire for unity and peace among Muslims. After that Imam Hassan Raziallahu Anhu retired from politics and moved to Medina, where he died either from illness or poisoning in 670. Early sources are nearly unanimous that he was poisoned. Emir Muawiyah Raziallahu Anhu was blamed by opponents as instigator in the murder of Imam Hassan Raziallahu Anhu. The events coming after that will be discussed in next video.